Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. Let's see. So many people. I was expecting 10. So wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Lydia, if you'd lead us in the mandala, please.
Hello, dear Lama Sumati, of course. Вот огромная земля, наполненная ароматами благовоний, укрытая покрывалом из цветов. Великая гора, 4 континента, украшенные драгоценными камнями, солнцем и луной. В своем сознании я вижу их раем Будды и подношу их все тебе. И с этим деянием пусть каждое живое существо ощутит чистый мир. Идам Гуру Ратна Мандала Камнирьятаями.
And Tatiana, could you lead us in the refuge, please? Yeah.
With pleasure, Holy Lama. Я принимаю прибежище в Будде, Дharме и Санге, пока не достигну просветления, силы добра, которые я творю даянием и прочим. Пусть я достигну просветления ради каждого из живых существ. Я принимаю прибежище в Будде, Дharме и Санге, пока не достигну просветления, силой добра, которые я творю даянием и прочим. Пусть я достигну просветления ради каждого из живых существ. Я принимаю прибежище в Будде, Дharме и Санге, пока не достигну просветления. Силы добра, которые я творю, даянием и прочим, пусть я достигну просветления ради каждого из живых существ.
Thank you. Well, we have far too many people for everyone to rejoice, so we're going to have to narrow it down a little. Let's go with Dimitri and his lovely wife. Where'd you guys go? I thought I saw you on here. Yeah, there you are. Oksana and Dimitri, what do you have to rejoice in today?
Hello, everyone. Hello, precious dear Lama Sumati. I'm happy to see you and all guys. We can rejoice that this week we helped two people to pray retreat in Malaysia with Geshe-la.
Wow, wonderful. That's extraordinary. That's very powerful karma. Good for you. Good for you. Okay. David in Armenia.
Здравствуйте, достопочтенный Лама Сумати. Сегодня я радуюсь
Hello,
тому,
dear
что
Venerable Sumati.
я
Today I
поздравил
rejoice
очень хорошего друга с днем
that
рождения
I
и отправил
greeted
ему
congratulated a
подарок
good
на день
friend with
рождения.
birthday and sent
И
a gift to his
сегодня мы
birthday. And
готовим
today
у нас
we are
дом,
preparing
готовим
at
наш
home.
дом к тому,
We are
что
preparing
завтра к
our
нам
house
приедут
because
несколько человек
tomorrow
после ретрита, и мы будем
several
их принимать
people will come to
у
us
нас дома.
after retreat, and we will welcome them at our home place.
Oh, very good. That's a very powerful thing to do with people who just come out of retreat. Let's go with Svetlana in Finland. What do you have to rejoice about today? Svetlana in Finland.
Да, здравствуйте, драгоценный учитель,
Hello, precious
драгоценные
teacher.
ученики
Hello,
этого курса.
precious
У
students of
меня
this course.
две такие радости,
I
которые
have two
хочу сказать.
rejoicings
Первое
that I
это
want to
я играю
express.
в театре.
The first one is I am acting in a theater. It is Russian-speaking theater,
около 70
and we
человек
have around
уже за
70
3 года.
people for 3
И в этом
years.
театре играют
And
ребята из Украины,
some
из
guys from
Беларуси,
Ukraine are acting
из
there, from
Молдовы,
Belarus,
и из
Moldova,
России, из
from
Финляндии,
Russia, from
из
Finland,
Эстонии,
from
из
Estonia,
русскоговорящие.
all
И у
Russian
нас
speaking.
был очень красивый
And we had very
торжественное
beautiful
театрального сезона
festivity
мая.
ending of
И
theatrical
я счастлива
season
от того, что наше
in the end of May, and I'm
творческое
happy that
пространство
such
соединяет
creative
людей разных
space is
национальностей.
connecting different people from different nations.
Very good. Very good. Okay, let's go with Zana.
Вот, и
If I'm
вторая радость.
pronouncing that right.
Мгм.
The second
Я каждый
rejoicing.
год
Oh, I'm sorry.
высаживаю цветы,
Each year I am
в
replanting
многоэтажном доме.
flowers. I'm
И
living
каждый год я
in
перед подъездом
many
большим
stages
кашпо
house, and each year
высаживаю цветы,
before
ухаживаю
in
за
the
ними
yard I in
на
such
радость
kashpo
всем
I'm
жильцам
planting
нашего
those
дома.
flowers for as a beauty to all people who are living in this house.
Very nice. Okay, now Zana.
Благодарю.
Я радуюсь
I'm
тому,
rejoicing
что
that
сегодня у нас
today
мирный день,
we have peaceful
и
day,
радуюсь тому, что
and
мои
I'm
близкие
rejoicing
рядом со мной.
that my close ones
Радуюсь тому,
are near to
что
me, and I'm rejoicing that
у меня есть друзья,
I have friends,
у меня есть учитель,
I have teacher,
и у меня есть возможность
and I have an
с интернетом
opportunity
быть сегодня на
with the
встрече.
internet to be in the meeting today.
Great. Well, glad to have you here. It would help me if all of you have your names in Cyrillic, if there's an English equivalent, that way I can call on you more easily, because I have no idea how to pronounce most of these names. Gulshat, is that right?
Здравствуйте всем, здравствуйте,
Hello
дорогой
everyone,
учитель.
hello dear teacher.
У меня радость такая, что
I
я
have such
купила
rejoicing
билеты на
that
самолет на
I
Армению.
bought tickets
Хочу поделиться
for
со
airplane
всеми,
to
кто еще
the
не
Armenia
купил,
retreat,
вопросы,
and
как
I would
тебе
like to
было.
share it with everyone who haven't buy it, so that all of you have it as well.
Oh, look forward to seeing you there. That would be
Oh,
fun. Okay, let's see. Lydia, you have a smile on your face. What do you have to rejoice in?
I just realized that I'm going to Malaysia. So, I mean, I know it. I knew that the day before yesterday, but now I realized that. So, thank you so much.
Wow. Well, I wish we were going, but we're not. So have fun, learn a lot, and bathe in the glory of Geshe Michael. That'll be great. Okay. Who else can? Serene?
Yeah, hello. First of all, I think I'm really rejoiced just to be a part of this group today. I'm from Vietnam actually, so I'm trying to catch up with all the Russian. Another thing to be rejoiced about is I've been incubating this children book for a very long time, and finally after several years, it's been taking shape. Interesting as this has certain religious, like spiritual themes, unconsciously tied to it. So I feel very happy. Also the fact that about 2 weeks ago, I came out of meditation and I thought I wanted to contemplate about death about 3 weeks ago. And then I came to ACI, the website, and I was browsing new courses, and voila, I saw this one, and yeah, I wanted to register right away.
Good.
So
Good.
yeah.
Oh, good luck on the book. Daria with the flowers next to her. Yes. Daria T. Yeah.
Thank you so much for an opportunity to give a sound. I'm rejoicing today that soon I have a balance of how connected spirituality and worldly things. I was working a lot about my business tasks, and also I had sadhanas, yoga meditations, and it's very beautifully aligned in my life now, and I would like that everyone has it as well.
Well, thank you. I can only hope that that'll happen for me. I'm glad it's happened for you. Okay, I'm going to do a little rejoicing. I received a review of my latest book, which has not sold well for some reason. It's a technical history, and not many people enjoy that, but this gentleman said some very nice things. And the one that the book is exceptional for several reasons. First, Stump's coverage of the history is incredibly thorough in both its breadth and depth. The work is clearly a result of a tremendous amount of research, and it covers the complete range of research and testing programs across all military services. Second, he connects the dots in a way that makes DoD's development of the HTK capability seem much more organized than individuals who try to monitor the events in real time. His analysis shows the logical connections across multiple programs that are sometimes difficult to see when we focus on a specific program or agency. And third, Stump is a superb writer who has the ability to present complex issues in a way that satisfies all readers, whether they are well versed in the technology or have limited technical background. That summarizes why I've written these books. To know that I've come across authority and detail really makes my heart very proud. I feel very good. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now maybe the book will sell. Who knows? Okay. Well, let's start. I'm going to read the Heart Sutra to clear obstacles to this weekend's teaching. So if you have a copy in Russian, you can read along, but I'll do it in English. Okay, here we go. The Exalted One, the Lady of Conquest, the Sutra on the Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom. I bow first to all enlightened beings and to every warrior saying, once I heard this teaching. The conqueror was staying on Vulture's Peak in the keep of the king. With him was a great gathering of monks and a great gathering of warrior saints. At a certain moment, the conqueror went into deep meditation on a part of the teaching known as the awareness of the profound. At that moment, too, did the realized being, a great warrior, the Lord of Power, loving eyes, see into this one deep practice, the practice of the perfection of wisdom. He saw perfectly that the 5 heaps, the 5 parts of a person, were empty of any nature of their own. Then, by the power of the Enlightened One, the junior monk named Shariputra turned and asked this question of the great warrior, loving eyes, the realized one, the Lord of Power. If any son or daughter of noble family hoped to follow the deep practice of the perfection of wisdom, what would they have to do? This then is the answer that the Lord of Power, the realized one, the great warrior, loving eyes, gave to the junior monk named Shariputra. Here, Shariputra, is what any son or daughter of noble family should see who hopes to follow the deep practice of the perfection of wisdom. See first, all 5 heaps, all 5 parts of a person are free of any essence of their own. Your body is empty. Emptiness is your body. Emptiness is nothing but your body, and your body is nothing but emptiness. The same is true of your feelings and your ability to discriminate between things and the other factors that make you up, and all the different kinds of awareness that you possess. All of them are empty. And thus we can say, Shariputra, that every existing thing is emptiness. Nothing has any characteristic of its own. Nothing ever begins, nothing ever ends. Nothing is ever impure, nothing ever becomes pure. Nothing ever gets less, and nothing ever becomes more. And thus we can say, Shariputra, that with emptiness there is no body, there are no feelings, there is no ability to discriminate, and there are none of the other factors that make you up, and there is no awareness. There are no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, nothing to see, nothing to hear, nothing to smell, nothing to taste, nothing to touch, and nothing to think of. There is no part of you that sees, there is no part of you that is aware that you are seeing, and this is true all the way up to the part of you that thinks, and the part of you that is aware you are thinking. There is no misunderstanding in your world, there is no stopping this misunderstanding. And the same is true all the way up to your old age and death, and stopping your old age and death. There is no suffering. There is no source of this suffering. There is no stopping this suffering. There is no path to stopping this suffering. There is no knowledge. There is nothing to reach. And there is nothing not to reach. Thus it is, Shariputra, that warrior saints have nothing to reach. And because of this, they are able to practice the perfection of wisdom and stay in this perfection of wisdom. This frees them from every obstacle in their minds, frees them from all fears. They go beyond all wrong ways of thinking and reach to the ultimate end of nirvana. All the enlightened beings of the past, the present, and the future too follow the same perfection of wisdom and thus bring themselves to perfect enlightenment, to the matchless state of totally enlightened Buddha. Thus are they the sacred words of the perfection of wisdom, the sacred words of the great knowledge, sacred words of the unsurpassable, sacred words that are equal to the one beyond all equal, sacred words that put a final form, end to the final form, every final form of pain, sacred words you should know are true for false, they cannot be, sacred words of the perfection of wisdom, which here I speak to you. Tayata, gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisattva. And thus it is, Shariputra, that great warrior saints must train themselves in the profound perfection of wisdom. With this, the conqueror stirred himself from his deep set of meditation. He turned to the great warrior, the loving eyes, the Lord of power, and blessed his words, saying, "True, true," he said, and true again. Thus it is of son of noble family, and thus is it. One should follow the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have taught it. Every one of those gone thus rejoice in your words as I do. And when the conqueror had spoken thus, the junior monk Shariputra took joy. The warrior, the realized one, loving eyes, the Lord of power, took joy as well. And all the assembled disciples took joy, and so did the entire world with its gods and men, near gods and spirits too take joy. All sang their praises of what the conqueror had spoken. Okay, so we have the screen with the, I'm sure, yeah, okay. So death meditation. I guess we call it death habituation. I look at it as preparing for life. Well, Why isn't this working? There we go. So we'll be studying a special part of the Lam Rim called death awareness and habituation. The concepts we're going to learn over this weekend should be applied to all aspects of your daily life. This is a 4-part death meditation where we use the same process of visualizations, the scenes like the scenes in a movie, as we did in the Source of All My Good meditation module. These will be analytical meditations which we will stitch together and then use as our main meditation object for a month, fitting it into your everyday life as well. There will be readings you'll get after each class, as well as copies of my teaching notes translated into Russian. So I hope you can listen and not worry about taking notes. So class 1. First, we're going to have an example of a death meditation. In this case, it's more of a contemplation. And this isn't a meditation where we're going to use the preliminary. So please just close your eyes, get comfortable, close your eyes. It just doesn't take too long. Come on. Okay. You're driving your beloved truck from Diamond Mountain to El Paso, Texas, to teach one of the foundation courses. This truck was the first vehicle you got to purchase that was exactly what you wanted. You have countless stories about your truck. You had picked up the mail in Bowie on the way to El Paso, but returned to Diamond Mountain because the building permit had finally come, and one of the contractors was anxiously awaiting its arrival. So you drive back and you find out that the door to the temple had slammed shut in the wind and split. So now you have to go pick up a replacement door in El Paso as well. You need to get going if you're going to be there on time for the class in El Paso. As you approach the final turn on onto the paved road, you start to skid. This has happened before, and you're always able to come out of it easily. This time is different. You overcorrect, and now you're aimed at an embankment you're going to hit head on. You try to correct again, and the truck rolls twice. You had your toolkit strapped down with a seatbelt, so there's nothing flying around inside the cab except you. As it starts to roll, you reflect on what you learned when you studied the death habituation meditation module. You're not frightened. You do not think about all things you could have or should have done. You reflected that you were driving too fast. It's nobody's fault but your own. Instead, you think that now you finally get to find out what happens when you die. The truck comes to rest upright, engine running. The passenger side is crushed, but your side of the truck is intact, and all you have is a slight cut on the ring finger of your left hand. Your first thought is, if this is Tashita Paradise, it looks an awful lot like Diamond Mountain. Hopefully, you put the truck in reverse, and it engages gears, and you drive back to Diamond Mountain. It drives as if nothing had happened. So I got back to Diamond Mountain. Let's see if my notes. Well, just a little bit more. Got back to Diamond Mountain, stopped and told some people I wasn't going to El Paso, and they came out and looked at the truck, and sure enough, it was damaged. I told my wife, who was in retreat at the time, so she didn't worry about why I wasn't in El Paso. And I did something that maybe some of you have done in the past. When something like this happened and you sleep on it, you think it's the next day, and the next day it was a dream. So the next morning I got to the kitchen window and I slowly peered down to the garage area, and unfortunately the truck was still damaged. So what are some of the things that might cross your mind at the moment of impending death? In no particular order. I wish I had not had that argument with my wife. I hadn't had an argument. No one knows the password to my computer. She does. I wish I'd studied the Dharma harder. I regret putting off completing the courses. What about those framing clamps I borrowed from Jim Delwich the summer after high school and never returned? These are not the kind of thoughts you want on your mind at death. You don't want to be recounting things you didn't do, things you should have done. We're going to learn the kind of things you want to be thinking of at the time of death. It is my hope that by the end of this weekend, you're going to be able to place your death in perspective and ready yourself for its eventuality. Now, this isn't morose. I'm 73. I've got Parkinson's. My years on this planet are numbered. But I know that when I die, I have been trained well enough by Geshe Michael and his teachings that I can have the kind of thoughts on my mind that I need to have, thoughts of helping all sentient beings, instead of worrying about whether I'm going to a hell realm or the things I didn't do. We need to overcome years and years of 65 karmas ripening per second, which turns out to be approximately 5.6 million per day, going through all 84,000 afflictions nearly 67 times. We have to fix these now, fixing throughout the rest of our lives. This meditation we're going to learn can serve this purpose, helping you see what you have to do and show you that it is necessary to do it. This will empower us to be ready that when we die, we will have a mind trained on one to take on the suffering of others. If you have that heartfelt thought when you die, and you keep thinking that through the death process, you will do very well. I hesitate to say you'll become enlightened at that moment, but your rebirth will probably be pretty nice. Let me go back here. We're not going to create the anxiety, pain, or of death, or visualizing our body rotting, which are other death meditations. We're also not going to describe the practice of POA, which is another thing that you can practice as you're dying. Death awareness habituation does not take place sitting in meditation. It takes place throughout the day. Having awareness of death means you'll always be living as if today was your last day, looking to do virtue for your future lives. You will have great clarity in your life, and you know what you have to do. Things are in perspective. So we're going to be going through a 4-part death meditation. The disadvantages of not developing death awareness. You don't do the Dharma. If you don't do a death meditation, then you will concentrate on the small pleasures of this life, food, clothes, etc. You'll act ignorantly to get what you want and avoid what you don't want. generating karma that will hurt you later. We are hurt in two ways. We continue to go on with a state of discontent, and our efforts to alleviate discontent are stained by our ignorant attempts to solve them, and these just generate new bad karma. Because of our ignorance, we avoid things we don't want, we desire things and do things we shouldn't do to get them. You consider death, but think it will happen to you later. You delay undertaking virtue because in your heart you believe death will come to you later and that you can do virtue later. Later never come. Now think about this. When you were 20, 25 years old, I didn't think much about death. I was into rock climbing without ropes. I didn't think anything could hurt me. I was 25. I was going to live to be 80 or so nothing was going to hurt me. Well, that's about as naive and as ignorant a thing you can think of. But I would say that most people on this planet live with the illusion that there's this bell-shaped curve of life expectancy. And right now it's about 72 years in the United States. Half the people live that long, half people don't. So as a 10-year-old, to think you're going to live to 72 is, well, I guess for a 10-year-old, that's okay. You do practice, but for reputation only. Our natural motivation is from self-interest and self-concern. This becomes accentuated if we don't do death meditation. You practice, but with no enthusiasm. Without death meditation, you just do rote practice and eventually drop the practice. You get deeper into this life. If you don't do a death meditation, don't think about death. You get more entrenched in this life. You need the lifestyle, leisure, money, activities that you are accustomed to as you age. You get sucked into and stuck in mundane, neutral, or non-virtuous activities. All this couples together to have intense regret at death that your life was wasted. You're sorry for how you lived your life. You didn't change your heart, nature, or character. This feeling is intensified at death. How realistic is it to think you can spend every waking minute thinking about your impending death? That's a good question. Do I think every minute about my impending death? I did for a while. I do find myself asking, is this the best use of my time? Now, I've had several students and friends ask if writing technical histories of military programs is a good use of my time. Well, I look at it this way. History is a wonderful thing, and the only way to get history recorded, in my mundane view, is to record it. So I've selected subjects that are not well recorded in military history and write about them. And I think that's a wonderful use of my time. And apparently others do too, because they like what I've written. So it doesn't have to be, you're doing something good in your life. It doesn't have to be, it should be Dharma related, but it doesn't have to be the Dharma per se. And there's another point about your practice. We talked about this before, and we'll talk about it again. But we say, many people say, I did my morning practice. And I have a teacher from Australia that said once, I don't want to hear you say a morning practice. Your practice is 24/7, 365. That really struck me as good advice. So the advantages of cultivating death awareness. We don't know when we're going to die in this life, but this awareness is not strong enough to change our actions yet. Your practice is pure. You're doing it for the right reason, not for others' approval, and you also practice more if you have death meditation, death awareness. Your practice gains power. If you feel you're going to die today, you'd get serious and concentrate hard and have a powerful practice. This is your last meditation before you die. You will spend less time on petty things in life, arguments, winning arguments, not worrying about when someone is criticizing you. Helps you get started. It motivates you to give up something else that you're doing and practice instead. Personal practice must come before anything else, including Dharma work. I have to confess, I don't follow that recommendation as well as I should. Having a good approach to death keeps you strong. Your practice will always have ups and downs, but when your practice is down, the death meditation helps lift you back up. Gets you to the end. When you're practicing and you reach the hard spot, you're 75% there and start to fade. Then death meditation will keep you going and gets you to the end. All this culminates, you're going to die with satisfaction. As you near the end, your choices provide more satisfaction. We reduce our interest in gaining and keeping possessions. Our mind is a database that will be clogged with a mess of things, or orderly, and really the only real useful thing that can truly help us is what we've studied with the Dharma. We recognize all the useless stuff we do. Fighting, wasting time on entertainment that isn't helpful, doesn't mean you can't relax. But it shouldn't be the focus of your day. If I were to die tonight, have I done meaningful things? Our extraneous relationships are no longer important. You just don't dump people, but you realize you need to spend more time on important things, such as reaching total enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I want to make this point clear. I'm not asking you to give up all your friends and go sit in a cave. But what I'm asking, I'm pleading with you to do, is put awareness of death into your daily practice and realize that what you're doing in any particular day could be the last thing you do because you're going to die that night. I don't find that morose or evil or eerie. I find it quite liberating. The older they get, the more vindication you have that you made the right choices. You see the wisdom of choices in your life and feel the satisfaction of having chosen Dharma activity, which now pays off. When we got out of 3-year retreat, Geshe Michael met us and we had many conversations with him. And one of them was, you need to find what he called your calm, your special talent that you want to pursue. And that's where my interest in military history. I decided I was going to write some of the best books on the subjects that could be written. I devoted a lot of time and money to it, and I'm very satisfied that the work was well received. One of my books is actually used as a reference in the Pentagon. Now, for a military historian, it doesn't get any better than that. I just wish they'd buy some more copies. So what death awareness is and is not. Death awareness is not paying attention or trying to recreate the panic and terror you feel at death, because your mind's hallucinations, dissolutions, and grasping at things of this world, which you're losing. Death awareness is learning how to focus on the things in this life that will affect you after you die. This is the minimum motivation to be a Buddhist. An analogy would be like a blind person who gained sight, but only for a limited time. They would try to see the things they really wanted to see, not waste time on stuff that was not important. So what can I do today that will really matter? What worldly things have I done today versus what silly, irrelevant things did I do? This could be a real showstopper for your everyday. Think what your sadhana practice would be if you realized that it might be the last one in this lifetime. So how do we develop this death awareness that we are seeking? There are 3 steps. Death is certain. The time of death is not certain. When you die, nothing helps but the Dharma. How are we doing here? Let's take a 10-minute break, and we're going to come back and do the first part of the meditation. So I'll see you back here in 10 minutes at 10:52 my time. If any of you have questions, turn your microphone on and ask away. No question. Okay, so get comfortable. We're going to meditate now. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Eyes closed, or if you leave them open, focus in a spot in front of your nose. Your posture, your legs, shoulders should be relaxed, shoulders and back straight, head level, eyes lowered or closed, left hand over right hand. Your spine should be straight and you should be monitoring your breath. Go for refuge in the fact that these teachings this weekend can help us change our behavior in order to really protect us, help us truly help other beings. Think of someone you know who's having trouble, mental, physical, emotional pain, and think what you would like to do to be able to help them and grow that feeling in your heart. Invite your holy being to come and meditate with you. They sit in the air in front of you, a full-length prostration away, life-size, smiling and happy that you're doing this practice. Now, mentally do 3 prostrations, thanking them for their good qualities, thinking of something they have done for you and praise them for it. Could be His Holiness the Dalai Lama, could be Lama Zopa, Geshe Michael, any number of people that are special to you. I often use my wife. Make them an offering. The nicest one is some part of your practice that you did well today. Not getting mad, helping someone at the office, letting someone go in front of you at the store because they're agitated and in a hurry. Now do a quick 4 powers of purification. Regret a wrong deed you've done in the last 24 hours. Replay the mental video. Determine hard not to do it again. So you take refuge. You have regret. You have restraint and you have remedy, the 4 powers of purification. Next, rejoice and tell them the special goodness that you did and be happy about it. Ask for teachers to stay, pray for their long lives and continued involvement with you. Ask for teachings, both formal and informal. Then dedicate what we're about to do for the benefit of all living beings. If you need to shift positions, please do so. Okay, here we go. You've been struggling through a thick, dark forest with a trail seemingly going nowhere. You've been struggling for a long time. You are tired from having carried a long backpack that contains all of your possessions. Things are even strapped on the outside because you have so much stuff you feel you cannot live without. These things that are on the side of your backpack catch branches and made the trip hard. Your arms and face are all scratched up. You are hot, you're tired, you're thirsty, and you're fed up. You look up from the trail and see as you're nearing the edge of the forest, finally going to be through it. As you step out into the clearing, you see below you a meadow with a farmer's market in process. On the far side of the market is a slight rise, which has an open-air cafe, and you set your sights on it as you're both hungry and thirsty. Slightly beyond the cafe, you can see a swiftly flowing river with an arched bridge crossing to the other side. You can barely see an adobe brick structure with clay tile roof. At its entrance appears to be a cluster of guards. Just ahead of you and spread across the width of the meadow are vendors with all kinds of produce, broccoli, potatoes, lettuce, zucchini, apples, fresh bread, other fresh pastries. The market is full of people milling around and looking at the booths. You step into the clearing, eager to be amongst people again. You walk towards the cafe, noting which vendors you'll come back to after you eat. Luckily, there's a vendor with tote bags, so you can gather more things. At first, you have to just gently push past people. It's crowded. First, you're gentle, but they start to push back and they actually start to grab at what's strapped on the outside of your pack. You gently slap their hands, defending your stuff, all the while trying to get to the cafe. This scene is like someone living life in denial of their inevitable death. We constantly struggle to get what we want or think we need. We struggle to protect our stuff from people that think they need it. We use up good karma at an amazing pace and create negative karma without a moment's decision. This is an image for our problem of not meditating on death. Without meditating on death, we'll never come to see how useless and petty much of what we really do is, and hence will perpetuate this cycle of life or samsara. You break out of the crowd thinking there is something wrong with this picture. I cannot go on like this. Something has to change. That thought process dissipates as you're near the cafe, drawn in by the smell of fresh bread and roasted vegetables. The thought of a cool drink, maybe even an iced coffee, pops into your mind. You reach the cafe, find an empty table, and take off your backpack. You've been craving a fresh mozzarella roasted red pepper sandwich, and as if by magic there's one on the menu, and you order it along with a large iced coffee. As you eat your meal, you think about what you had to do to get to the meadow and how much cool stuff there is. And now you're going to need to find an extra bag to carry that in. You finish your meal with the intent to go back, but as you pick up your backpack and feel how heavy it is, you realize you don't really need any new stuff. You need to get rid of some of the current stuff. Having finished the meal, you leave the cafe and you walk toward the ornate bridge. You reach the center of the bridge, the high point. You take off your backpack, put it down and open it up. The bridge represents the benefit of taking a good death meditation, starting with renunciation. The stuff in the backpack represents all your worldly possessions, relationships, inaccurate beliefs, opinions, activities. You'll pull out a canteen, and perhaps that represents the big house mortgage that you struggle to get out from under. But you got the big house to impress your friends. The flashlight is your need for the latest cell phone. The camp stove is your habit of eating out constantly because you don't like to cook. And it's another reason you have to work so hard at a job you don't really like, just for the pay for this habit of eating out all the time. Maybe your sleeping bag represents a friend that likes to go to the bar and argue politics and waste your time. Without meditating on death, we'll never come to see how useless and petty much of what we really do is, and hence we perpetuate this cycle of life. You start to throw items over the bridge railing, identifying them as you do and saying good riddance. As you do, you notice similar objects on the pilings for the bridge support. Someone has been there before you. You pick up your pack, continue across the bridge, having gotten rid of those things without regret. This is key. You cannot have regret. You finish, you walk down the other side of the bridge. The backpack is very light, but you're still dirty, hot, and tired. You look ahead and you see a gauntlet of armed guards that you must pass before you make it to the meadow in front of the adobe building. They're brandishing swords and maces and whips. They represent the kind of death meditation we're not doing, where you practice the terror and pain of death and panic of death. Knowing this, you muster your strength and courage, and you run right past them before they can react. Suddenly, you find yourself in a peaceful meadow, refreshed, clean. You no longer have the backpack. You're carefree and walk slowly towards the entrance door, enjoying the smell of freshly mowed grass and the beautiful flowers. You walk up a 7-step landing made of granite, looking up at a tall, ornately carved yellow door. Engraved on the door are the words, "Death is certain." Now recall your holy being. Ask them to come and stay in your heart to guide you. They smile, they're happy to do so. They shrink down to 3 inches in size, raise up, turn to face the way you are, and come to the top of your head. There they shrink down to the size of a pea and descend into your central channel to the level of your heart. They stay in your heart. Imagine a crystal room where they stay, and their love and compassion radiate out through your body. Anytime you need them, they're there to help. Okay, you can open your eyes now. So the forest and the struggle against others represents the disadvantage of not doing a death meditation. Crossing the bridge and throwing stuff away is the beginning of doing a good death meditation. It's a renunciation step. So, are there any questions? No? Okay. Let's dedicate the goodness we've done today. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Filled with wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all living beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Thank you for this opportunity to present the first part of the death meditation. We will see you at, okay, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow evening. It's this evening. No, I'm confusing myself. I will see you at 10 p.m. my time, which is 8 a.m. your time. You'll be on Saturday. I'll still be on Friday. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Holy Lama. Please stay forever.
Was the meditation too
Благодарю.
quick?
Спасибо. Спасибо. Благодарим.
Was the meditation too fast?
Thank you very much. It was very good.
Okay. Thank you.
No, thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.